friends, and welcome to this week's episode
of Advice from Your Besties.
When do I say Chelsea Toronto?
Now.
I'm Chelsea Toronto.
I'm Dr. Lindsay right here.
Okay. So let's get to some questions.
This is when we answer your questions.
Right.
Because we're all friends here. Okay, question number 1. What's your biggest insecurity? You know, it depends on what I'm looking at in the mirror at that moment. Usually it's like my waist area, or if there's like a little fat roll coming over the leggings, that drives me insane. And I would say that's it.
That's your only insecurity?
Oh, well, I mean, that's the biggest one.
Okay.
Yeah. Don't make me list off all of them. That's the biggest one.
I was ready to list off a handful. Big insecurity is the fact that I can't do math or spell.
Oh.
That I feel very vulnerable. And with the new people I'm meeting, I almost feel compelled to tell them. So at some point they don't say, oh, you don't know how to do that?
Oh.
Or you don't know how to say that? Or like, you can't do that money math real quick? No, I can't. Doesn't make me stupid. I literally can't do it. And
how often are you doing math tricks for them?
Math tricks. No, it's more like, what year was this? Or how old? Or like 29 cents.
How am I supposed to know that? Google it.
I know. I'm just telling you. We're spelling. Oh, spelling is the worst.
You know what? I realize there's so many people in this world that are very terrible spellers. Like, I think the majority of people don't know how to spell things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not her fault. So I would say that's I certainly have more. Also, being a failure at life.
Well, I don't think you're a failure, so.
Why? Because I'm living and I'm fairly entertaining? Yeah, that's not enough. I mean, kind of, but I mean, it's not enough for me.
Okay.
Okay, great.
Let's see. What does projecting when arguing really mean? That's my man's new fave word, and I'm pretty sure he's using it wrong. Let's see. What does projecting mean?
Okay, ready?
Yeah.
A couple of years ago, when I was married, my husband would say, yeah, well, you're out cheating. And more than likely, he was the one cheating.
Oh.
And subconsciously, I think they feel badly.
Okay.
They feel bad. And I don't know if it's subconsciously.
And they're putting it on you.
Mm-hmm.
So if he says you're cheating, he's probably cheating.
Right.
He says you're dumb, he's dumb.
Right. Exactly.
Okay. Kind of deflecting his insecurities onto you.
I don't know if that's just I don't think it's limited to a narcissist, but I do think they do that frequently.
Oh. So
somehow it gets turned around and now I'm the one shouldering the blame for something you did.
Mm-hmm. I don't think you have to be a narcissist, because I think it also comes up in almost everyday life. Like if someone is telling you like, no, that's not a good idea, maybe because they don't think it's a good idea, like a business decision or something, like, no, you shouldn't do that. I think they're just like putting their own limiting beliefs on you.
So question, when I said I didn't want to do something because I didn't feel as skinny or as pretty as that one person, was that projecting?
I think that is more like self-sabotaging.
Right. So someone asked, hey, do you want to hang out? And then they're pictured with somebody who made me feel insecure.
Mm-hmm.
And so it was easier to sabotage that relationship and ghost than it was to deal with my insecurities, which is not projecting.
Not projecting.
Not projecting. Maybe a different issue for a different episode.
Okay. If you could tell your younger self 3 things, what would they be? Maybe don't have sex with so many people when you're like end of high school, college. Maybe spread it out a little bit.
Why?
Because looking for validation in all the wrong places.
Sure. Somehow that doesn't make it on my list.
I would say don't go to college right away. Take a gap year,
Okay.
live some life, at least a year off so you can figure out what you want to do with your life.
Agreed. That's a good one.
Yeah.
That's for sure probably a top 3.
Top 3. And then I would say just, like, don't take your high school and, like, college friendships for granted and, like, think that they're always gonna be there or, like and don't, like, hold on to things that need to be let go of. Like, just evolve with your friends and maybe put a little bit more effort into it.
Oh,
Mhm.
those are good ones.
Yeah.
I didn't expect to hear those from you.
Oh.
100% do a better job picking a degree
Mhm.
that you could fall back on if need be. And do the hard thing.
Yeah.
Have more fun.
Mm.
And you actually turn out okay.
Oh, that's a good one.
Like, you're pretty cool.
I feel like on TV shows and everything, they're all like, "You're cool, like, being unique is awesome, and don't change yourself."
Yeah, Josie Grossi.
Oh, yeah. Every teen movie where they put glasses on someone and take them off and they're like, "You're hot now."
Yeah. Same thing.
Let's see. Thoughts on not feeling as accomplished as your siblings and it being apparent to everyone in your family by them still treating you like you're different and incapable? Well, okay, so in my family, my brother is a few years older than me. He still lives like a couple hours away from my parents. He's married, he has 2 kids, and they just think that is the greatest thing ever. And he's doing it right. He stayed nearby, and they would always ask me, "When are you having kids? You could move home. How are you gonna do this if like we don't live nearby?" I'm like, "I'm not having kids, and I don't want you to live nearby." And like, why? Like, why is that so hard for you to understand? And then I would act like a teenager around them, which is not ideal. So I have just come to the conclusion that I think that they do like him more. And he was always the angel child and never got in trouble. And I was a devil child growing up, which is fine. And I'm just taking my own path and kind of taking everything that they say with a giant grain of salt because they don't really understand who I am at my core. And the judgments that they have and comments that they make are just on like surface level things that they see.
Damn.
Yeah.
Whoop! There's that on that.
Yeah.
I can speak from experience on this one.
Mm-hmm.
Even from like middle school, it was very apparent that I really do think it was apparent. Everybody knew that I was like, it's like for my Cabbage Patch doll. I told you my mom gave me a redheaded
You
one.
guys, she had the redheaded stepchild of Cabbage Patch dolls.
Like literally,
Like-
my mom gave me year 2. It was the authentic Cabbage Patch, but it was a red-haired one. So if that doesn't represent my entire, like the sum up of my entire existence, like 100%, I am a failure in their eyes. I am financially dependent. I'm a financial blood-sucking thing, slug or whatever.
Slug.
And I have no real direction. However, what I can tell you is I am the happiest. And I am the most level-headed and grounded and like if shit were to hit the fan, I could handle it. I can just kind of reason. I have like good reasoning skills. I can kind of take things in stride. So that is not something my family respects or thinks of it as a value.
Right.
We don't have the same values. So really, how do you deal with it? I think was the question. I got happy with myself. And I just learned to really love myself, which, oh, don't you hate when people say that?
I know.
And I'm sorry that I'm saying that.
But it's like, wow, I don't know how else to say it.
But yeah, because you did it.
Yeah.
It's just like, you know what? How about we just turn down the volume and their judgments? Because I don't really like them to begin with.
I know.
I don't dislike them. It's just that I don't like them enough for them to make me feel bad about myself anymore. Like, how old am I that I still care and I still feel like shit because you treat me like I was 12?
Right. Because their judgment, you can't like, their values are so different from you.
And maybe they're locked into when you were 12.
Yeah. So they're judging you based on their values, which you're never going to adhere to.
Maybe we just don't have them, right?
Mhm.
Like, they don't get where we're coming from and they choose not to know us as the people that we are instead of like the people they have envisioned us to be.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I was reading something where your personality is pretty much locked in by the time you're 35. It's just a series of personal choices, but you can change.
I think I've changed.
Yeah, you can totally change because the more aware you are of what you're doing, the more
Right.
you can change.
A solid 10 years in therapy really helps to round it out, and I'm glad I did, right? Because I do like who I am, and certainly I like it better than my family, and I can take solace knowing that they're not right.
And I kind of feel like a celebrity every time I go home. They're like, "Oh my gosh, Lindsay's here."
You're so lucky.
They're just so happy to be in my
There's this
presence.
existential amount of dread when I cross the threshold into my brother's house.
Well, yeah, like my parents are coming to visit in a month or so, and I'm like, okay, like how am I going to entertain them? They're staying
Yeah.
with us.
Oh, they are?
Yeah,
They've never stayed with you before.
I know.
Oh.
It's been a while.
I'm gonna come over and introduce myself.
Yes,
if it kills
please
me.
do.
Like,
Because I also find I need people to deflect the attention off of me. I don't want it on me at
you
all.
might be grateful because we've talked about this before where I don't think your parents actually know I exist.
I think they do.
Well, I will make sure that they do in fact know who I am to the point where they'll be like, "How's Chelsea?"
Yeah.
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 I'm gonna trim the pants off.
We'll get you there.
Yeah. No, I can do it. I love impressing family members. I'm a really good at first impression.
Oh.
Should I choose to be?
If I want to be, I can be. Depends on if I care or not.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, well, that's all of our advice for today. And
Yeah, that was a good one. Or what not to do.
yeah, what not to do. So, hold on. I was going to ask you guys a question right back. Like, what's your biggest insecurity?
Yeah.
Yeah, because you know how we all bond? We all just say shit that we don't like about ourselves, and we can all come together in that way,
Can
right?
somebody else disclose and be vulnerable?
Yeah.
I feel like a hot mess every time we get behind a mic. And I'm like, and then this one time in second grade.
Well, I told you, I posted on Instagram, like, I have body image issues, and everyone's like, shut up. So-
That's not one way to be rejected. I don't know what it is.
I know. And I'm resilient. I keep going.
I'm delusional.
I'm so delusional. So, what is your biggest insecurity? You can send us a DM on this one.
Oh no, text me.
Yeah. Send it on Instagram.
Or just post it on one of make a story about it.
Yeah, make a story about it. Tag us at SoFiredPod on Instagram. And we cannot wait to hear from you. And we'll see you next time. Bye.
Disclaimer. This podcast is for entertainment purposes only. The stories and statements expressed herein are experiences and opinions. They may not represent the views of the production studio or the hosts. If you disagree with our content, that's okay. No podcast is perfect for everyone.